Kart Class podcast. Today we're going to be looking at why it's so important to not just drive at the one circuit. Now for some people, they don't have the luxury of having a circuit close to them. So they might have to travel 1 or 2 hours away. You might be forced to just drive at the one circuit. But if you are fortunate enough to have a couple of circuits within a reasonable drive that it's at least accessible to get to, we want to look at some of the key advantages of experiencing new circuits. So the first one is you can get stuck in a rut by just being at the one circuit. It feels comfortable, you hit your certain lap times, but after quite a few thousand laps or quite a few sessions at the one track, it's hard to then just push yourself out of that comfort zone, because you know that if I brake here, I'm going to be pretty comfortable. I'm going to do a decent lap time. If I hit the accelerator here, yeah, it's all going to be pretty good. Everything handles pretty well. It's just always tuned to that one track. Then all of a sudden you go to a new circuit, you might be experiencing tighter hairpins or some curbs that all of a sudden you can hit, where at your local track you might not be able to use because they might be a lot more aggressive or more rough. The drop off in the circuit might be a lot more aggressive, where you're sort of a bit nervous to get to the edge of the track. Could be different camber. It's always very important to learn, when you've got, say, a positive cambered corner, which is, for our listeners, is like a NASCAR circuit where it's sort of embanked. Then you've got a negative cambered corner where it's actually off camber. So as you're going around the corner, it's starting to drop away a little bit. And having those experiences of different camber, different circumference corners, like I said, different curbs, different track surfaces as well. So we're sort of noticing these days that some of the mixtures they've been using to lay the tarmac down for the circuits are a lot less grip than what we've been accustomed to. So with that becomes just a change of grip. Now, do you have to change your driving style to suit that grip? Do you have to change the kart setup to get that balance right? Do I have to adjust my braking? Can I lock up the brakes? If I've already got no grip, it might not be the best way to drive a corner. So at least then what happens is you can start to bounce from track to track, and rather than it taking you, 1, 2, 3 days to get a track right, it might take you 1, 2, or 3 sessions to get right. So that when you start to go to different races and different race events, you can start to pick up circuits a lot faster. And then with that, we go to race events and you might only get 3 or 4 sessions before qualifying, or maybe even sometimes only 2 sessions. So kids as young as 7, 8, 9 years of age, it takes them, they need repetition, they need visualization, they need to drive laps to get familiar with their surroundings, to find their braking markers, their accelerating points, their apexes. So by learning different tracks where it's possible, this then starts to open up their horizon. They go, you know what? I can relate that corner back to such and such track. I can relate this corner to my local track. I can relate that corner to a different track that I've been to before. Then all of a sudden you can start to piece the track that you're driving at, but you can piece it together as different corners that you've experienced. And then with that comes a lot faster learning as well. So they're really the key benefits as to, if it's possible to get to new circuits, to experience their corners, their camber, the track surface, the grip levels, and see then if you can start to tune your kart around different conditions so that you're always on top of the kart setup as well. Hope this gives you a little bit of advice. If you guys need to know more about your kart racing needs, then visit us at kartclass.com for all your kart setup, driving technique, and mindset advice. Thanks for listening. Cheers.